The more the merrier. Let me enjoy hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. So just off the ripperoni, I don't have a script for this video, but we're gonna go back to the Birdman. We're gonna go back to the Critical Drinker. Those videos seem to be doing really well. I hate that the channel would become a drama type channel, but that doesn't really matter. I'm gonna have some splicings or some videos displaying a Marvel Rivals because I'm absolutely garbage at it, but I do get my little highlights here and there. I am a tank main, but I try to DPS. Like tanking right now is just so not worth it. Anyways, I'm gonna have some clips posted from recent Birdman videos, and we're gonna go over that. Then we're gonna have some Critical Drinker videos, how he's not responding. Birdman calling him a drifter, yada 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 yada. You get the drift. Let's get into it.
God damn it, Will. I can't even be sick in peace. Well, looks like our favorite anti-woke grifter is back at it again with a shit take about the MCU, and being the apparent Disney shill that I am. Let's uppercut him again, shall we?
See, this is what I don't understand. I really don't understand where Birdman's like pure hatred comes from. Watching the Critical Drinker, I think both these guys do a fair job of critiquing movies, but it just always confuses me why Birdman is on this fence of defending it in a weird way. I mean, he's not really. Sometimes he's not wrong, but he's not really right most of the time. And this is my raw reaction. I have not seen his video. I know he posted it. I just wanted to watch it with you guys, and then we'll go see if the Critical Drinker even responded. But it's 27 minutes, so you know us, it's gonna be like 42 an hour. And so yeah, let's see what he has to say. And also, it's a very funny thing that uh people will often say that he's getting paid by Disney to say these things. And honestly, it does sound like he is getting a kind of paycheck for it. He goes on vacations a lot. I mean, I don't think he's making a lot of money from YouTube. Who knows? Maybe his Patreon people are taking care of him. I honestly don't know what this guy does. To my understanding, I thought this was his full time job, and apparently not. So, we're all learning something.
Oh dear, 2025 hasn't exactly been a bumper year for the MCU, with back-to-back flops in the shape of Brave New World and Thunderbolts.
We're not even 10 seconds in, and he's already lying. This group, Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, Geeks and Gamers, that one vampire from Blade, they keep trying to sell this lie about marketing. You know the one, that these Marvel movies have giant marketing budgets, so when I show you that Brave New World made almost 2.5 times its reported budget, you, being the nicely trained parrot that you are, would then tell me that this movie's marketing budget was identical to its production budget.
Which we all know to not be untrue. Anyone for a fact tell you that the budget that they put for the movie is not indeed the budget that they are fully extending. For the United States, that could hold true up to a certain extent, but Disney being Disney, when they do overseas movies like this, they take the person off the front cover, like Black Panther, they cover up his face because to kind of cater to foreign countries. I would say, let's be honest, we're talking about Japanese and Chinese culture. Yeah, it's entirely not true. They probably go over like so it was like 180 something, whatever it just said for the budget. It's probably like two, just like this guy says, 2.5 times that. I would even go argue and say it's 3 times that, but that's neither here or there. It has nothing to do with the critiquing the movie. He is now on to personally attacking these people. And that's where the juiciness comes in, because I'm all for it.
Meaning the film needed to make around $500 million to break even. If not identical to the budget, something close to it. It's hard to keep up with all the goalpost shifting these people do.
And again, it's not shifting, posting. I don't know what he just said, but it didn't make any sense. Moving the goalposts, I would word it that way. It's easier to for your audience to understand. which your audience members seem to lack thereof, some understanding of how this stuff works. So um, he is speaking from headcanon. I distinctly remember the Birdman, or I'm sorry, not the Birdman, Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic having people that work for these companies tell you how much they are really spending. And obviously, they don't want to dox them. They don't want to give names for obvious reasons, right? Someone could lose their job, and running a YouTube channel is not worth someone getting fired that has a really good job working with Marvel. Okay, so you can say what they want about the movies, but being on a production team or film crew, sound crew, like any part of that production crew is a pretty good job, I would assume. So let's just not assume they're spending way less than they actually are. It's Disney, dude. Like they don't care to spend the money. I mean, look what happens to Disney theme parks when people get hurt, and it's like, well, you had a Disney subscription, and you can't fucking sue us. Uh, all that type of bullshit. So, what exactly are you saying, Birdman? Like, what is your argument in this take? If it's even an argument, hardly a debate, honestly. He's basically saying what Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic, that entire group, has been saying. It has always been a rough estimate. No one is stating that it's a fact that it's 2.5 times, but we know damn well that they're going to be spending over that budget amount. Okay. It's like hiring a contractor. It never goes to plan. When you get a contractor to do work for your house, it's always going to blow over budget. This is a movie production. This is Disney. Yeah, they're going to shoot over that budget, air quotes. You can't see me, but no, it's not it's not going to be anywhere near their budget, because they're saying it's worth that much, but realistically they're overshooting by probably two times that. I would say two to three times that, because you're talking about United States, and you're talking about running it for a week, and then you're talking about, well, after it's done with its movie premiere week, then they run ads again on different sites you can watch it. Like, the ads are always running. There are things not accounted for. Let's just safely assume that they're gonna blow over the budget. Like, it's not hard to comprehend.
Anyway, that's why Will is calling Brave New World a flop, because he's trying to sell you on this marketing budget lie, something that is quite prolific on the internet. Here are all the facts. Number one, we do not know what the marketing budget for any of these films are, because this isn't publicly released information. Oh, that's the entire list. This isn't public information. So where are all these marketing budget quotes you see flying around on the internet even coming from?
It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer. It never happened.
Yeah, people are regurgitating estimates from outlets like Deadline. You see, every year Deadline releases a most profitable movies list where they rank movies based on their supposed profitability. There's only one problem. These numbers are simply made up. Let's look at their 2023 rankings, specifically about the film Anyone But You. In addition to the box office numbers at the top, you can see Deadline lists the production costs of the film, otherwise known as the budget. This film's budget is reportedly $25 million, but under that, you can see Deadline starts listing numbers for prints and ads, residuals, interest, and overhead for a total expenditure of $116 million. And Deadline's source for these numbers? Themselves. This is where you people are getting these numbers from. People guessing. And you could try to argue that these are educated guesses, but even then, Deadline doesn't list their methodology on their website. I know, because I spent almost 2 hours looking for it. I also emailed the writer of that article, Anthony D'Alessandro, for clarity on his methodology, and I haven't yet heard back from him, if I ever will. So the point is, anyone professing to know the marketing budget for a film is very likely pulling numbers from their asses, or Deadline, who are also, apparently, pulling numbers from their asses.
You don't need to be a mathematician to know that people are going to blow over the budget. Regardless of that, yes, he did reach out to the dude that wrote the article, but they stated themselves, obviously, saw from the video, that they don't even know what the budget actually is. So I'm just confused as to where, like, what's the point of just beating a dead horse? No, I highly doubt the producers even know the ballpark of how much they spent because they're producers. They will talk up their game on how much money they want to send into a project, overshoot it, validate it, and then hey, we got money at the box office. Yada yada yada. We have 600 something million. We don't even know what profit that they made. That was just, again, your words, not mine, an estimated budget, an estimated revenue stream, and it's estimated everything. So it's kind of a moot point.
We only have two numbers to go by, and that's this one and this one. And wait until I tell you that this one is also an estimate. Now, marketing costs something, and I'm not saying that it doesn't. What I am saying is that there exists no actual evidence for these numbers on the internet, and the only people that truly know are the producers who put up the money, not anti-woke YouTubers who...
Oh, the irony in that. The irony in that, but you posted a video personally attacking Critical Drinker, and then you release your own video with Jeremy's point of view because you're still doing that old bit. But regardless, none of you are professionals. I'm not a professional. Everyone has critical thinking. We have logic, reason. The list goes on into like enjoying a movie, nitpicking it. What could it have been done better? Uh, you can just kind of into your own head about like how do you want to watch a movie. Like when you go see Thunderbolts, are you saying that you want to see these people? Like I have no idea who Thunderbolt people are. Like am I making sense? Am I just going off on a tangent? Like you don't go see Thunderbolts and think it's going to be an Avengers movie when they wanted to call them the new Avengers. It's because they had bad writing to begin with. I mean, Endgame was probably an okay-ish last ending of that era, but then you have flop after flop after flop after flop. Like there's no validating it. It's just a bad take. Like there are some elements in movies where it's like, you know what, that was actually pretty good, but like looking at it as an entirety, the entire project as an entirety, it is failing. So I don't what like why are you dying on this hill right now? It still boggles my mind. This man hates the Critical Drinker.
who have a vested interest in the perception that these movies are failing financially.
And yes, with less than 400 million at the global box office and its theatrical run all but over, even the most die-hard shills have been forced to concede that Thunderbolts is absolutely a flop.
Aw, seems that bad take on Thunderbolts is getting to him, guys. I mean, leaning heavily into whether a movie is a flop is a weird angle, considering you're supposed to be a movie critic, Will. Your concern should be about the quality of a film, not its financials. There are plenty of incredible films that don't make a ton of money at the box office. My favorite film and its sequel being prominent examples. Hell, The Iron Giant is widely recognized as a classic film, but it actually lost Warner Brothers money. Art should not be quantified by how much it sells. There are so many factors that can prevent a film from making money, including luck and timing. That's how you know you're not a real critic, Will, when a movie apparently failing is a point scored on your side. You're just proving that you're a culture war ideologue who has weaseled his way into this discussion when you should be just as derided and ignored as Ben Shapiro is when talking about movies.
And just to add out of the blue political view that has nothing to do with movies, we're going to ignore that because we all know, we all have watched. I'm a nobody. We all have watched The Critical Drinker and The Birdman. Some people disagree with others. Most of Birdman's crew or his followers go over to The Critical Drinker because their explanation of that is that Birdman is just not speaking with logic like most of the time, which is it's fine because that happens with Cinema Sins, it happens with Cinema Wins. Like people are gonna gravitate towards what makes sense for them at the time, and if it's even like worth watching the video, for obvious reasons. But to say that he's not doing his job as a movie critic when he has arguably put out more content about actually critiquing the movie, and budget does go into the movie because there are movies out there that are really great, but the marketing for that movie was so bad and abysmal that people didn't go watch the movie. It could have been a good movie, Pixar, but the marketing for it was a bad movie. So yes, the cost to display that movie as a trailer for everyone to see, the marketing, the timing, it does all factor in. So I do agree with that. But the way he's using it is like no one's ever thought of it before. Like you are doing the same thing. You're preaching to the choir. Just focus on the movie, and then you get people like me who focus on what you say and then focus on what the critical drinker says with an unbiased opinion. It's I'm hearing it for myself for the first time, and it doesn't make any sense, bro.
And call me crazy here, but something tells me that Ironheart isn't going to turn things around for them.
Well, Ironheart is a TV show on a streaming platform that doesn't release their viewership numbers. Even if it did have a high viewership, we wouldn't know one way or the other. Besides, when do the TV shows ever have any quantifiable impact on the viewership of the films?
It really doesn't. And I'm sorry to be nitpicky about it, but I'm going to stop you word for word and ask for explanations like what, why are you dying on this hill? Yeah. I'm sorry. What did you say? See, you're saying season one Loki had nothing to do with because people were coming from the movie. He knows that Disney is going into TV shows because they're unable to produce a high quality movie, right? Like he's on that same page that we are, and that's coming from the left or right or any kind of critique of anybody.
You people continue to claim you didn't watch WandaVision and that it supposedly impacted Multiverse of Madness. But that film did $1 billion.
That means that everything now rests on the Fantastic Four, the third attempt in...
They will say that the TV shows are not doing so hot. So that's headcanon. And again, hardcore fans will go see it. And if they don't like it, they'll express it. There's so many YouTube channels. If he would have just took the time and watched, like I watch it Yesterbill a lot. I kind of tune into what she has to say. I watch Snarky J. Shout out to Snarky J. She's hilarious cosplayer. And she will honestly critique the movie, not really show much of the scenes, but she'll talk about it as well. And it's good to get these different opinions. I mean, again, I can go on, a list of people that I watched that other people may not agree with, but they sat there, they went to the movie, it did $1 billion, great, but everything else is failing. So it's like you're taking that one win and you're looking past all the failures and you're thinking about it like a human being person. Like you want to think negatively about somebody, you always bring up their failures, right? But if they have one succeed and they make it, they start making money, like money, then everyone's always gonna think about the failures. But this is movie business. Like they have a long, hard understanding of how much they're failing. They're putting out this money. They're in the negatives and the negatives and the negatives, and they get one movie that does $1 billion. They take that, they put it into a TV series that no one wants to watch. No one even cares for this Ironheart. So like
in the past 20 years to make Marvel's first family work on the big screen. And I think it's fair to say things aren't exactly shaping up well for them.
Once again showing you don't know shit about movies. Reshoots are a normal part of film production. Basically, every movie has them, and that's because despite the advances in AI technology, movies are made by humans. Perhaps if your movie had a couple of reshoots, it might have been better than Brave New World. Regardless, sometimes things need to be tweaked. Sometimes a scene doesn't work as intended, and you only find that out during the editing process. Once again, this is normal. Avengers Endgame had reshoots for fuck's sake. You all remember the iconic line at the end of the movie?
Iron Man.
Yeah, the result of a reshoot. The critical drinker and other grifters and outrage merchants rely on normal people not knowing this information.
we know it. We all know it. It still accounts for their budget and costs, and it costs a lot of money to do reshoots. So why wouldn't it be a part of the budget? Again, I don't mean I do mean because at this point I don't care. But dude, it's a normal thing. We all agree it's a normal thing. But having multiple reshoots of things you can't use is just bad production. Like a reshoot, let's say you have a scene and you have to shoot it 100 times to get it the way you want, right? The producer or the whatever the head guy is, he really wants it to give off a certain feel to send off the movie in a good way. And those aren't necessarily bad, but when you have TV shows that are coming out that should have done reshoots, like Ironheart, that should be doing those reshoots because it's just terrible writing. Yeah, it's gonna accumulate in the budget. So why are you labeling them grifters? Would you call me a grifter? Like, it's common sense, dude. Am I a grifter for using common sense? Is that what you're saying?
This is an issue and collects social outrage clicks on their shitty content. He's literally pointing to a routine process in the creation of a film and telling you it's a bad thing. He's either stupid or blatantly lying.
When we were in post-production, myself, Patrick, our editor, Cooper Samuelson, our head of film, we were all, in the edit room day to day, and Patrick was adamant about getting very select sequences. He knew he wanted a scare scene. He knew he wanted...
Oh, Lordy. Again, what I just said. Most of the time, reshoots are not a bad thing, but it still accumulates to the budget. It's not ever a bad thing. In fact, reshoots are, them going back and saying, hey, I want to make this easier for the audience to understand. I really want that impact to come through. However, some reshoots are still bad. Like, even going back in post-production and after production and yada, 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 all that goddamn movie talk. Yeah, it's going to accumulate in the budget. So when you see 180 million for a budget for a movie, that's not the total cost because we all know it was an estimate. So they're overshooting that estimate. Like every day they have these crews out, it's $1 million. I'm going to assume, right? It's high production. What are we talking about? What was wrong about what he said?
One more emotional connector between father and son, and Georgia was key to that. Those reshoots were so integral because one of them wound up being the kind of centerpiece for the entire film campaign, which was this incredible scene in which Josh Lambert goes into an MRI machine.
Hey! Can you let me out? Hey!
I mean, it started out well enough. The first trailer came out to a mostly decent reception that actually generated some positive buzz for a change. Imagine that in 2025. People were appreciating the comic-accurate costumes, the charming retro-futuristic 1960s aesthetic, the emphasis on family and teamwork, and the prospect of a Galactus that was more than just a giant cosmic space farts. Great stuff, Marvel. After half a decade of generic, forgettable slop, the MCU finally seemed to be doing something with a unique look and feel again.
I am
However you want to look at it, why is there a mask on his face? Oh, because he said he was sick. Anyways, but yeah, what was wrong with what he said? He's like, yeah, for once after streaks of L's, you did something right, which everyone does appreciate when Disney did that. So, in 2025, yeah, that's generic slop. I don't know where you've been, but
completely dumbfounded how anyone can use footage of Multiverse of Madness and Loki and call them generic slop, implying they didn't have a unique look and feel. I mean, the aesthetic in the Fantastic Four trailer is the same aesthetic as in Loki. The TVA had all the sauce of the Fantastic Four. What are you talking about? And Doctor Strange 2 was directed by Sam fucking Raimi. Imagine saying a film that featured scenes that looked like this was generic slop.
Yeah, it looks cool, but shit. Hey, if thing on screen look cool, it must be good, right? Shit. Made $1 billion. WandaVision. Everyone hates her, except for the stands. Like comic book accurate Wanda, non-comic book accurate Strange, and America. I just bleh, bleh. There is absolutely nothing wrong with what he said. Moving on.
Now I know you'll lie about anything.
They were fully embracing their comic book origins, goofy costumes and all, instead of trying to make everything look cool and slick and modern.
It's almost like he doesn't know this film is set in the past, and that the MCU did give us modern Fantastic Four costumes. Literally twice.
Maybe, after a quarter of a century of failed attempts, someone might actually do justice to the Fantastic Four. But leave it to Marvel to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. The problem started out small at first, like the casting of Reed Richards, which turned out to be trickier than expected. Apparently, the studio approached at least 3 other actors to play Reed, and they all turned it down. But why would they do such a thing? Who in their right mind would turn their back on a leading role in a big-budget Marvel movie with a huge paycheck at the end of it? Well, if I was a cynical man, I'd say it's because they wrote Reed to be a weak, cowardly pussy who gets bossed around by his far more powerful and assertive wife for most of the movie, and the leading men of Hollywood are getting almost as tired of playing characters like that as we are of watching them.
What the fuck are you waffling about? There's so much wrong here, I don't even know where to begin. First of all,
We already know how this movie is going to go. It's going to be a generic hero movie of Fantastic Four with the old Fantastic Four original family. If you read the comics, you already know what's going to happen. The movie is really going to it's really going to tell us how badly they're going to mess up the original story. So, yeah, moving on.
saying they wrote Reed as a cowardly pussy makes zero sense, as the film isn't even out yet and we have barely any interactions between the team from the marketing material. How would you know this? This is clearly a made-up issue that you just invented out of thin air, which would explain why your writing is so poor. Second, even if that's how Reed is characterized in this film, and let's be clear.
Yeah, let's be perfectly clear. When's the last time Birdman released anything to read? Yeah. When's the last time Birdman made anything actually original that wasn't like attacking someone else in a video but playing victim? Right. Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, I'm seeing a pattern here. So again, people who have, I'm gonna just reiterate the like last 5 years. So when people take roles, and yes, Hollywood is very woke. They displayed that for I don't know how many years. So get with the times, Birdman. Get out from under that rock. There are a few actors who do very well in Marvel movies. A few they have left. The ones that remain are, let's be honest, fucking straight dog water. Except Wanda, she's pretty cool. Cool actress too. She's been in a lot of other movies. So, just become a fan of hers, like just from watching her. So I know she's gonna deliver. Yeah, I'd fucking turn the role down too if it means like ultimate career suicide. Like at some point, these people make money, right? At some point, it's like, is it even worth it to get the paycheck to have your ideal? Like, look what they're saying about Pedro Pascal and how much of a pussy he is. I don't even know the guy. This is the stuff that I see on X. This is the stuff that I see in other YouTube videos. I don't get into it like that, but I mean, maybe I should. Am I left out of the loop here? Because if I recall correctly from Loki season 2, his name was tarnished after the end of that. Conclusion to the series was tarnished. Again, Disney, bad taste. Our actress for Ironheart, everyone hates her because she got the paycheck, right? Everyone hates her for the dialogue because it just screams victim mentality. So yeah, no one likes to see fucking weak ass men in roles. That's not a superhero movie. Not saying to dumb down everyone else, but like there's already superhero movies, Blade, the 1, 2, and 3, that you can go back to people having strong roles. It was strong Marvel. It was iconic. Okay. These new movies now, they just put a lot of money into making it look cool, like you said, but it really is nothing. It's a nothing burger. I gotta find out that that Twitch streamer that says it. Jack Films. Yeah, that's what it was. It's all nothing burger. Like, it looks nice, it looks appealing, but it's really shit.
Here, it's not. What makes you think That's the reason Hollywood actors wouldn't want to be a part of this production. You people can't make up your minds. Apparently, Hollywood is full of woke people, but at the same time, they can't find woke people to be in their woke movie and become instantly rich and world famous. Are you dumb? Besides, we have evidence for why people turn down Marvel projects, ironically, from one of this movie's actors, John Malkovich. As you can see, John states the main reason he previously turned down MCU roles was due to the pay and the nature of how these films are made. These are superhero movies, and not every artist is into that sort of thing, and on top of that, they require long-term commitments due to the nature of its shared universe. That's where the "till you're 90" joke comes from in Deadpool and Wolverine.
But then, like a knight in rainbow-coloured armour, a saviour arrived to take up the mantle.
So just blatant homophobia now? I mean, we already knew you were a bigot.
Where, when, who, what, when, where, and why? How did you conclude that this man was being homophobic? I mean, LGBT, whatever alphabet crew aside, when did you hear this man with his own words say he's basically, I can't say the F word, right? He's being a figaletti.
But what I want to know is how the fuck are you still monetized on YouTube? I mean, it says it right here. Hateful and derogatory content. I mean,
Brother, that's exactly what you're doing right now. So why are you monetized on YouTube? And it's not a derogatory term. I don't know where you got this from. Like, if you call someone gay and they're gay, that's just saying it how it is. It's not derogatory. Unless you're saying that by the definition of YouTube, right, that if you call someone gay, that being gay is a derogatory term, which is what they prefer to be called. So now we're in kind of a gray area loop of a nothing burger, as you would. So I guess as you were, that doesn't make any sense to me.
you should have already been demonetized when I prove you slandered Isabella Merced with the false quote, as stated right here. But I am constantly amazed how you people continue to escape YouTube's community guidelines. You are the Osama bin Laden.
I love this. Yes, please. What does it say? Content that should suggest a tragic, something I can't read it, big ass arrow, not happen, or that victims or their families has nothing to do with that. Content that singles out someone for something or for harassment has nothing to do with that. Malicious personal attacks, slander, and defamation. So he's not making any malicious personal attacks at Pedro. He's not saying it, okay? Just because you conclude it with the video, two entirely different things. You came to that conclusion yourself. So, yeah, I mean, he's just implying it. He's not really saying it. Come on. Slander. It's not really slander. It's not slandering his name, and he's definitely not defaming him. Okay. This is stuff that Pedro has posted himself. Pedro does whatever he wants. He's a grown ass adult. He does his own actions. So anything that's filmed or, put out there that he's totally okay with, it's all up for grabs. And that's a part of YouTube's, I guess, rules and regulations. Okay. He's not personally attacking Pedro, but he's just implying it. Just like okay. So the difference would be you're personally attacking Critical Drinker. You're not implying anything. You're calling him a sexist. You're calling him a homophobe. You're the one personally attacking him. You are literally putting his name in your mouth, bar for bar, saying that he is a homophobe. That came out of your mouth. So if anyone deserves to be non-monetized, it's going to be you. So if you want to use definitions, then sure, we'll use definitions. Pretty much like 98% of your YouTube content would be demonetized if you want to push it to like a T.
Of the internet.
That's right, it was Pedro I'll appear in literally anything Pascal, an actor that clearly saw the meme about him taking on far too many roles and said,
What's with you weird right-wingers and being upset with actors getting work?
What is this? What does this have to do with being left or right wing? Why are you bringing politics into movie critiquing? It's so weird. It's such a stretch. You sound like a whiny little bitch, dude. Stop doing that. Stop. What are we gonna go into now? Like what? The political views? Get it out of here. It's got nothing to do with the movie. If you don't talk them back to them, you want to talk about them as actors, by all means talk about them as actors, but don't bring left or right into it. It just people go to the movies to watch a movie. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. It's a bad movie, it's a bad movie. Hello. Hello. What are we arguing here?
If it's not Endymion and this demonetized tap dancer getting angry at Deborah Wilson being in a lot of games, it's you and Turd Roddick being upset at Pedro Pascal.
Hey, now you're personally attacking them, dude. That's malicious intent to a T. Malicious intent. You're personally attacking them. You're calling them names, dude. Not cool. Not cool. Be the example, okay? Lead by example. You're supposed to be a leader, okay? With your 299K followers, you're supposed to lead by example. You're personally attacking these people. They have done nothing personal to you.
And it's not like you can say these people are even bad at their jobs. You're just mad that Deborah is black and Pedro is left wing. That's it.
Never came out of his mouth. Look at the post that he had on X. And look at Jason Kurgosian and Pedro called half the country Nazis. There's that. Okay. So yeah, it's just people not being accountable, dude. Why would he get roles if he's calling people Nazis? You explain that to me. Does that make any sense? Let's read what he wrote. He looks nothing like Reed Richards. Okay, cool. So it feels like they forced him into the role he isn't suited for. Yeah, I agree. Pedro's a pretty cool actor. He's a pretty cool guy, from my understanding. But is he a Reed Richards? Not really. No. Am I going to see the movie? Not really. Am I going to watch other people's review about the movie? Absolutely, because I love this drama shit. Two, and this is the bigger issue, he seems to be everywhere and in everything lately. So Pedro Pascal fatigue is creeping in, which is very understandable because I remember the same treatment for Vin Diesel happening when he was doing the Fast and Furious movies. People were like, "Oh, I'm so tired of watching it." Yada yada yada. It's the same thing. We've seen the same scenario, and he also does voice acting too. So I think it's not fact. Okay, he was one of the hired paid actors or voice actors for Guardians of the Galaxy because he did Groot in all languages, which I don't know how you do that, but I mean, hey, at least he got paid for that because voice acting they don't get paid as much as on the screen. Which I would say it's the whole teachers thing. They deserve better pay. Anyways, he never said anything about because she's black in a lot of games. She's in a lot of games. She's probably a voice actor. I have no idea. She's in this. I actually know. We will read Eddie Mion. I don't know. YouTube. As I played Doom: The Dark Ages, I was confused as to why Thera sounded so weird and older. Turns out she's played by Deborah Wilson because, of course, she is. Genuine question: if VAs need to look at their characters in anime and all that other stuff, why is it always a free pass when this happens? This lady's voice didn't match Thera at all, so she did bad voice acting. Okay, the same thing. If he doesn't look like Reed Richards, there's nothing wrong with casting someone who looks like Reed Richards. If she doesn't fit the role, it's pretty common to replace her for someone who will do the role. I don't see the issue here. It's not because she's black. It's because of the profession that they're in. It has nothing to do with skin color because I don't hear you calling Pedro Pascal like a white yada yada yada. He looks white. I don't know what he is. And she appears black. I don't know what ethnicity she is. I don't know what background. I don't know her. It has nothing to do with skin color. Just get that out of your head, please. You're reaching for a nothing burger, and it's sad. You sound like a victim. Just play straight up. Stop it.
You have no actual critique of their performances. You just say they're in too many things. Perhaps they're in a lot of shit because they're good at their jobs. I know that's a foreign concept to people who have to grift and lie to gullible people on the internet for their popularity, but sometimes people are really good at what they do, and that's why they get hired. You know, merit, a concept so foreign to you, you're probably putting it into Google Translate.
Again, personally attacking him. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy how you mention monetization. Yeah, no. They're in a lot of things for the familiarity, because you've seen him a lot. Like Thug number 1, Thug number 2, it's always the same guy. I mean, I don't even remember his name, but you know, like fucking Machete, that dude, one of the Mexican guys that's always in everything because he was an actual gang member and he just wants to teach people less. Like those guys are cool as fuck too. By the way, they're like, we used to be gang members. We did time. Every time I do this role, I want you to kill me. It's familiarity. It's I know like when I see him, like, dude, it's that guy. I can't remember his name. Maybe Carlos. Am I being racist? I'm Mexican. Anyways, it's that one guy who's being a thug. Yada yada yada. It's the same thing, but you know they actually deliver. And because she's in a lot of things, you think that she's good at her job, but it's familiarity because they want to grab someone that people know. And if she didn't do a good job, then she didn't do a good job. You know, sometimes people get complacent and they get too comfortable in the position they're in. So there's a lot to unpack here, but it has nothing to do with political views or skin color. Let's just get that off the bat.
But hey, who knows? Maybe Pedro would buck the career-long trend of taking on high-profile but inappropriate roles and deliver an absolutely killer performance as Reed Richards.
You know, these please laugh clips you include in these low-quality videos are almost as pathetic as Jeb Bush asking the audience to clap.
Big game without backing it up. I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
But then there was the casting of Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, who's 38 in real life and somehow manages to look even older on screen.
Would you prefer a male companion?
But, you know, Pascal is like 50, so it would have been pretty weird to pair him up with some hot young 25-year-olds. Nothing to worry about so far, so let's keep going, shall we? Then Vanessa revealed in an interview with Entertainment Weekly back in...
Is that okay that he said that? Probably not. Like, probably not. Who cares if they look the part, they can play the part. But you know, we just previously discussed if he doesn't look like a Reed Richards, then he should be playing Reed Richards. It's not a personal attack on him. It's just, hey, if you're a fan of the comics and you want to see someone who looks like someone from the comics, there are a dozen that like they're based off real people. I'm just gonna assume. So her being Sue, like I don't see any issue with it. I don't really see his reach on if she looks older or not. Probably because it was back in the day and that was kind of the point. That's what I can kind of grasp. But again, personal attacks for literally no reason. Like I'm holding him accountable just the same as I'm holding the Birdman accountable. It's not all going to be attacking the Birdman, even though this is his video and we're just doing it bar for bar. But also we're getting a 2-for-1 because it's displaying Critical Drinker's point of views and how he's not attacking people as badly as the Birdman. So it's a good contrast to have these opposites in one video and then critique them both at the same time. He has said nothing wrong up until this point. It doesn't really matter. I mean, is Sue Storm supposed to be young? I don't know. I wasn't really big on those specific comics. You know, I don't know people's ages. I just know the comics. Like the age has nothing to do with anything.
In April, that this movie was going to explore the gender politics of Sue Storm and women's place in 1960s culture. Okay, sure. That kind of statement can mean a lot of different things. I mean, the film's set in the 1960s, which was a pretty important time for feminism and women's lib and all that other stuff, so I guess it would make sense to at least acknowledge it. Maybe she just means the movie will present an interesting contrast.
Hey, like, to a T, exactly what I just said. So that's using your brain. Makes sense. It makes sense. People looked older back in the day. They were like in their 20s and they look damn near 40. So there's nothing wrong with that comparison with the context of that. There's nothing wrong with that then.
Contrast between the kind of expectations and questions that women in 1960s America were grappling with versus the modern day MCU, where they basically act like obnoxious caricatures of men if they were written by 16-year-old gender studies graduates from Portland's.
I want the audience to understand that the usage of footage of Captain Marvel is very deliberate, and that's because he
obviously it's to drive home the point that he was making. Anyways,
can't actually provide examples of this claim in any Marvel property since this movie.
America, not Fantastic Four. There was let's see, Wanda against the smartest man alive, Reed Richards from I guess Multiverse of Madness. That was pretty dumb. The whispering guy who died to her. Yeah, that was pretty dumb. We're still talking about Wanda. Okay, let's move on to another movie. America, the chick that teleports, that's another character entirely. Then you go into Ironheart, that's another character. Then you go into Black Widow, that's another character, just absolutely OP for what she actually is in the comics. Pretty badass. But also they had a nerf Hawkeye. Let's go to the males. Hawkeye just completely nerf him, completely nerfed the Hulk, completely nerfed Thor, and yeah, you can draw a list if you kind of think about it in these Marvel movies for both genders. So moot point.
That's why this video is titled Return of the MCU, because apparently it was gone. Hell, he's showing footage that isn't even in the Captain Marvel film. This is a non-canon deleted scene. Go on, check. In any case, discounting the Marvels, there have been 14 movies since Captain Marvel released, and none of them have a Captain Marvel-like character where the lead is a woman who, and I'm quoting here, acts like an obnoxious caricature of men. Of those four,
Oh, I just thought of the movie. It's Ant-Man and Wasp or whatever. The second movie, or is that the second movie? Yeah, that she's completely one of the main characters that acts like a dude. She punches Scott in the face and she's like, "What, you can't punch?" It's basically implying like you never punch, you're not a man. Like to a T, it's Ant-Man and a Wasp. And then you have the third movie, the Quantum Realm or whatever. I don't know if the orders are even correct, but yeah, immediately what comes to my mind is Ant-Man and a Wasp, and she is indeed one of the main characters. So, uh, I don't know, man.
14 films, 10 of them were led by male actors. Of the 4 that were led by female actors, Eternals, Black Widow, Wakanda Forever, and Thunderbolts, none of those movies featured a woman who acts like an obnoxious caricature of a man. The lead of Eternals, Cersei, is as girly and motherly as they come. Natasha is a well-regarded character in the MCU by men and women alike. Shuri is nothing like her brother, nor is she obnoxious or manly, and she was only thrust into the main character slot due to the death of Chadwick Boseman.
I would argue very hard. I'll die on this hill. Yeah, she was very obnoxious. 1,000% very obnoxious. And yeah, you can argue that she was being manly. You could make that argument too. I'm saying you can make the argument. I'm not saying is it right or is it wrong, but the context here is if you can make that argument. So yeah, the movies he listed, yeah, Natasha being Natasha, not from the comics, but like the implications of the people that she fought are that like it was with ease. Like in the comics, it wasn't like that. Like there has to be room for failure for character growth. But I guess we're getting off topic because that strays more to the comics to live adaptations of the comics themselves. But no, you can make these arguments like 100%.
Plus, there is a comic basis for Shuri becoming the Black Panther anyway. And Yelena isn't a girl boss or whatever stupid euphemism you people come up with. She was everything you people claim modern female characters are not. Vulnerable, seeking comfort from her father, and willing to accept and contend with her flaws and mistakes. So, as always, what the hell are you even talking about? You literally only have an argument with Captain Marvel, but are trying to extrapolate that to every female character in these movies.
And just from like, I guess a majority point of view, no one really wants to see knockoff Natasha. She's good looking, don't get me wrong, she's gorgeous, but no one really wants to see that. Maybe you, Birdman, maybe the children, sure, they yearn for the minds, but like grown ass people, 30 and above, they don't want to see that shit, dude. No one wants to go watch Thunderbolts as much as it made. Like, man, there's too many factors to go into this of just headcanon. Like, if we can just take a chill pill and look and just take a step back. If I'm not doing anything, I come back from work and I just want to go watch a movie. I don't even care about politicals. I don't care if it's female led. I don't care. I'm going to go watch Thunderbolts, like for an example. Okay. Am I going to like the movie? Don't know. It's always like a what if, but like the common majority of the people on YouTube are clearly stating that it's a nothing burger, man. Like these are conclusions of people who went to go watch the film. You keep saying like go back and watch it, but yeah, the conclusion is people don't want to see that shit. Like as cool as they are, they're probably cool in real life, but as far as on the screen, sorry, dude.
For some reason.
So, fine, we're still hanging in there, I guess. Nothing that's gonna spoil anyone's fun yet. Then there was the decision to make the Silver Surfer one of the most iconic antagonists in all of the Marvel.
I already know for a fact. I already know it's gonna go to the female lead, and he's gonna bring up one specific comment or comic, probably, one comic strip, right? That's including all the comics for her. Yeah, there is a fucking surfer, but they're not the same character. She's someone else entirely. We already know where this is gonna go.
Marvel Comics into a female. Because of course.
Once again, you annoying blue waffle. This film is not set in the main Marvel timeline. This was a way to get an already established Fantastic Four into the main MCU universe without pretending they were always there, even though we'd never seen or heard of them up to this point. That being the case, Marvel came up with a clever method of accomplishing this by having their planet get destroyed by...
It's never clever. It's never clever. It's called writer's block, and this is specifically why they keep creating multiverses so they can keep getting away with the dumb shit. If they just had an in-game type where like the main characters they died off, and then these other people stepped up, and they then you got to be familiarized with them. They didn't do TV series. They just did individual movies one by one about where they were when the snap happened. Having the Eternals come back after a while. Maybe revealing Galactus still hand out of the ocean and stuff. They could have attacked this avenue so many different ways, but when they block themselves, aka writer's block, and they have to take themselves, take a step back, they have to refer to multiverses, and it's always going to fail. No matter who you look at, multiverses are always going to fail unless you are specifically, and I mean specifically, talking about Flashpoint, because Flashpoint for Flash, for Barry Allen, for any of the speedsters, they made it make sense, and that's DC. Marvel cannot do a multiverse and have it make sense, because in every multiverse, each individual has taken over everything. So what do you do with that? You can't really do anything with it. It's not going to be a good story. So, like, oh my god, the conclusion of saying, "Oh, it makes sense they blew up the world," it made sense if Thanos snapped, and then they reverted back to if he didn't unsnap anybody, and everyone just went on with their day, and the fight never really happened, and only Strange would know. That would make a lot more sense. Plus, you bring in the Fantastic Four with the current Reed Richards from the Wanda multiverse. Then you can do a movie into that. Then you can say, hey, Wanda popped off, and this is what happened after they already established that Fantastic Four was there. And they were probably doing something else off-world, or go from there. But no, multiverse writing is always going to fail, because writers will write themselves into a corner, and then no one's going to have any fun. Everyone's just arguing, one of the comics this, one of the comics that, and the argument of multiverses is just the grayest area you can be in, because people will bring up this specific comic strip, and then people will bring up this specific comic strip, like the whole, for an example, Hulk versus Thanos. Well, Thanos beat the shit out of Hulk in this movie. Yeah, but in the comics, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Movie critics and fans of comics, you can conclude that it's bad writing. Does it look cool? Does it feel badass? Sure, but the conclusion is just going to be lacking. It's going to be lacking. What did I just do? Oh God. Well, what did I click? Okay. So like, honestly, see, it was Raw. Did me does people a favor if you watch it raw and you pause it like I do, and you talk about exactly what I just mentioned. No one wins. So Critical Drinker, Birdman, me, everyone is wrong.
Not set in the main Marvel timeline. This was a way to get an already established Fantastic Four into the main MCU universe without pretending they were always there, even though we'd never seen or heard of them up to this point. That being the case, Marvel came up with a clever method of accomplishing this by having their planet get destroyed by the planet eater Galactus, establishing Galactus as a credible antagonist and allowing a seasoned Fantastic Four to join the main timeline. Because they would be leaving this universe, you don't want to establish the original Silver Surfer, because that would mean they are going to immediately abandon him in this universe once the movie is over. You claim to want the classic Silver Surfer, but you don't realize you're arguing for him to be gone after this film. Don't you want him in the main MCU timeline, genius? Disney has already announced Avengers Secret Wars. If you know anything about that storyline, and let's not kid ourselves, you don't, then you'd know Secret Wars deals with incursions, meaning this universe is very likely going to be destroyed. You hate women so much, you're arguing for them to kill a man.
The point is, every time another one of these revelations comes out, it became just a little bit harder to ignore what seemed to be a growing pattern. Like, if Marvel were trying to refute allegations that the MCU was taking over everything that they did, they were making life pretty hard for themselves.
And now you're showing footage of Quantum Mania to make your MCU...
Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it when you're right. Oh, that's Quantum Mania. Did I not mention that? Not specifically her, but did I not mention that? Oh, buddy. Ugh.
Point. Wait, so is the problem supporting characters too? We can't even have semi-competent female supporting characters now? Anyway, the editing is once again betraying the drinker. He's showing footage from early on in Quantum Mania where Scott's daughter shows that she's relatively competent as she's been secretly working with Hank Pym, but this footage is right before she fucks up and traps everyone in the quantum realm. In other words, this film shows a woman making a mistake and learning from that mistake.
You're sending a signal down to the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Shut it down now.
These grifters did this same type of deception with She-Hulk.
The memory of it is too much for him to handle.
Fuck you, boy.
Oh, he must not know who the fuck I am. Bitch, I would throw you off this fucking cliff. Bring that ass here, boy. Oh, Hercule looking, ass chin having. Bring that ass right back here, boy. Oh, generic Piccolo cloak wearing, baby widow's peak having. Oh, Cyclops looking ass, boy. I'm Trunks to the motherfucking briefs, bitch. Oh.